Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. There is so much to go over. I did not cover everything that I wanted to in the crypto minute. I think I covered like six topics. I have six or seven more to discuss. So let's get to the conversations with the SEC and the exchanges. Yeah, that's a thing that's happening. It's going over right now. So when you start looking at these things, you have to start to say to yourself, well, if those conversations are happening, when I look at that matrix port, that's the name of the company that came out the report. What are the chances of them saying no? I think the chances are slim and nil. These are administrative things that just have to happen. Those conversations have to happen, all that other good stuff. You also have Fidelity filing with the Cboe for their securities, their Bitcoin spot ETF as securities. So there are a lot of things that are happening administratively, right, that tell me this is going to happen. The question that I bring up is, or I guess not a question, it's kind of obvious, right? If it happens now, it's great. If it doesn't happen now, I still believe that it's 100% going to happen. But if it doesn't happen now, then the next question is going to be, then when? Also, the question simultaneously asked would be, what would be the hit to the market, right? Because of that report from Matrixport, the market took a hit, right? But you'll see later on that a lot of these coins are starting to come back. So I looked up, and guess what? Solana's up 5%. Just saying. And we'll get into that a little bit later because I do want to talk to you about how the coins are moving up. Then you have Saudi Arabia looking to join BRICS. That's actually a very big deal because they've already made a couple of deals, or yeah, no, I think they've made one or two deals where they didn't use the US dollar. So that's going to be something that we should be thinking about. BRICS seems to be coming along hotter and heavier than what everybody thought. However, a lot of the countries that are getting involved are not necessarily strong economic, powerhouses. Just saying. Just saying. So it's something to pay attention to, and I'm wondering how the United States is going to handle that moving forward. I think maybe not having so much turmoil in Congress would be a start. And I don't like to get political, but that's just a fact. The other countries are seeing weakness, and if you see weakness in the country, then you're going to see weakness in their fiat. Hence, we have weakness in the dollar from a global perspective, global stage perspective. Then you have ARK Invest dropping about $25 million worth of their Coinbase shares. Excuse me. Again, that leads me to think that they're preparing. Sorry, that's my pup. That leads me to believe that they're preparing for their Bitcoin spot ETF because you need money to go buy some Bitcoin, handle transactions, all that other good stuff. Then you have things like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs looking to cut some deals with all of those companies to handle sales, all that kind of stuff for those Bitcoin spot ETFs. Right? I reported yesterday that Goldman Sachs is looking into it. Well, JP Morgan is doing the same. And that's why I don't believe a single word that spews out of Jamie Dimon's mouth. Smart guy, maybe too smart, right? Because he'll say something, but his company is doing something else. That's why I don't listen to him. Or I listen to him the way I listen to Jim Cramer. Everything that comes out of his mouth, I think the opposite. And it seems to be panning out right now. Just saying. Just saying. The Federal Reserve also said, as a part of their meeting minutes said, hey, listen, we're probably going to have, high rates for a longer period of time, which tells me that the rate cuts are probably not going to happen first half of this year. They'll probably happen, timing-wise, they'll probably happen second half of this year. Which kind of makes sense, right? When you think about what they're saying. Hey, yeah, we expect to see some rate cuts, but we expect us to see this prolonged kind of high rate season for a little while. So the timing puts me at the second half of the year, the back end, most likely leading into last quarter. So that's something I'm paying attention to. Other things that I'm paying attention to, that Matrix report, I keep saying Matrix, but it's Matrixport. It annoys me because it dropped the market And I've got to say, they knew exactly what they were doing. And, it's not like they weren't making sense. It's just, to me, I disagree, right? So when I look at everything that they were talking about, everything that they're doing, I'm kind of just like, yeah, guys, yeah, yeah, that's not working for me. Mentally, it's not working for me. There's too much administratively that's going on, too many boxes ticked, too many, concessions for the SEC to let it happen. SEC says, hey, we don't like this, we want this. All the companies turn around and do that, adjust their applications, send it back in, next and next and next. So that round robin has been happening for a while. So I'm just wondering, if they would have come out with this report a few weeks ago, okay, would have made sense. But at this juncture, I'm kind of like, guys, you're a little too late. And I think you wanted to, wreck the market a little bit. Why? Don't know. But obviously, some people are making money. I picked up a few shares. I had a couple of people reach out to me on different platforms, tell me they picked up a couple of shares. They also had a couple of questions. We'll get to those questions a little bit later. But I am thinking about, the other piece, which is you have a lot of retail investors, obviously, that are interested in Bitcoin spot ETFs. Why? Because they don't have the comfort of holding their own keys. They don't want that, right? That risk tolerance level for something like that. I could lose my keys. I've been hearing about all kinds of stories. So they don't want that. They want a Bitcoin spot ETF. What does that mean? That means they keep telling their institutional investment arms, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this, which means institutional investors go to the SEC and say, we want this, we want this, we want this. And now you've got the largest ones in the world saying, hey, SEC, this better happen. Could you imagine what would happen if Gary Gensler's SEC said no? There are already calls, there have been calls for him to be ousted. If he was to say no right now, he wouldn't even have good reason. And here's something else for you to understand, which is why I don't believe in that report from Matrixport. Grayscale won a case that said the SEC had no reason to say no to their conversion to a Bitcoin spot ETF. Did we forget that? I didn't. I reported on it a few weeks ago. So when I listen to all this, I just sit back and I just go, but what about that? What about that? So that to me, the chances are less than 1% that, they'll say no. See what I mean? I think the chances are extremely low. There's always a chance for a no right now. I just think that they're extremely low. Like, just, for me, frankly, beyond consideration. Not enough for me to actually consider a no happening. Now, if a no was to come, or they kick the can down the road, the markets will drop, people will freak, people will panic. Those with money, those with ideas, those with insights, strength of gut is what I would say. We're not going to panic. We'll look at it as an extreme buying opportunity because the market will go down. We'll swoop in, buy up some more stuff with as much money as we can, and wait. That's what we'll do. We'll wait and watch everything go up and watch our bank accounts rise. Watch the value of our assets rise. Fear and uncertainty is a bad thing. Fear, uncertainty, deception, that kind of thing. FUD is a bad thing. When you're an investor, no matter what you're doing, you're investing in a business, you're investing in digital assets, you're investing in traditional assets, doesn't matter. It takes strength of gut. Okay? If you're not prepared to weather the storms that come toward you, you should reconsider doing investments and stick to more traditional levels of investment. Not everybody's cut out for it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? I use percentages in my investments. I have a percentage in cash, a percentage in traditional, percentage in digital, right? Percentage in my own business. We've got a web hosting company. We do marketing for companies. So that takes money. That takes time. We build out things. So you've got to have strength of gut. And if you don't have that strength of gut, you're going to choose things that are less risky in your opinion. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? You have money markets, mutual funds, savings accounts, all kinds of other traditional investment vehicles that would make sense for you. But in this space, yeah, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to panic at all. At all. Anyway, you know what we should do? Oh, wait a minute. James Gorman. James Gorman has been the head of Morgan Stanley since I was a consultant there eons ago. We were doing the whole Sarbanes-Oxley Basel II thing. And obviously, good guy, knows his stuff, knows what he's going to do. And I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, he's handing off to the new CEO, Ted Pick, and he's saying, yeah, no, this guy's good, knows what he's talking about, knows how to do things, is going to follow the pattern along with, obviously making his own decisions, things like that. But he's a good guy. Gorman's joining the board over at Disney. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. So I think Disney is going to get stronger, right? And he said, banking regulations, and the economy, and he's optimistic. He's optimistic that we'll get the right banking regulations. He's optimistic that, we're having a soft landing. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, that's pretty good. He actually praised the Federal Reserve and how they handled things. And I just kind of look at that and I go, well, when everything started happening, Powell got pummeled. Oh, you reacted too slow, blah, 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 blah. And here we are navigating through the head of the needle, a soft landing. With everything that's going on, BRICS, national debt, Washington, D.C. in turmoil because they can't get anything done, in the House. Just everything that's going on. Everything that's going on. And they're still navigating us to a soft landing. I want everybody to come out and say, hey, good job. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear, good job, dude. You have to say it. You have to say it, right? But you know what we should do? We should get into the numbers. This is some cool stuff. So when I look at, let me remove this one. When I look at everything that's going on, let me just refresh this real quick. Everything that's going down, everything that's going up. So we'll just give it a second for it to refresh. Should have refreshed already. Yep, there you go. All right. So who's down that I'm paying attention to? Ordinals, which is SATs, down 6%. There's big turmoil. I reported this yesterday. There's big turmoil about everything that's going on with Bitcoin, with the developers of Bitcoin. Teller dropped 5%. Again, I don't normally pay attention to anything that's at the at the 5% level. I make note, but I'm not really stressed about it. It's just a sway, right? I pay attention to what happened previous, what happens after. Excuse me. So those are the things I'm talking about. So Teller got hit the other day, reported on that. XDC network is down 5%. There's nothing else that I would want to talk about on this list because it's lower than 5%. No reason to. On the upside, Ethereum name service up 59%. 59%. Because Vitalik Buterin said, oh yeah, nah, that is a big deal. Ethereum name service is necessary. And it just went, not bad. Not bad at all. So 59% gain hat tip to you if you were involved in Ethereum name servers. I own some ENS domains, but I don't actually own the coin. For each one of the businesses that I have, each one of the domains that I have, I've got several different, ENS domains. I have a few unstoppable domains, obviously, all that stuff. Celestia up 21%. So that's something I'm paying attention to. Who else? That coin I told you about, up 13%. Aptos up 13%. Stacks, another one that I like, up 12%. I don't pay attention to either one of those. Lido, told you before, I pay attention to that. It's DeFi space up 11%. Injective up 10%, right? These are things that we should be paying attention to. We really, really should, right? Let's go back. Yeah, those are my notes. 68, is the fear and greed index number. We're at 68 because of that report. It'll go back up. You'll see how it goes back up. 69.82 billion in total value locked. I'm expecting that to go back up, right? We're trading at 43,361, which is well below that 44,741 that I have, but we're still trading within that tight space right here. If you look at my yellow line, my purple line at 40, we're still trading within that tight space. Now you know why I'm not panicked. Look at how much we dropped yesterday. Look at how much we dropped yesterday from here to here. Look how much we dropped. And guess what? Bitcoin, not phased. Coming back into its regular space, and I'm telling you, it'll go back up. It'll obviously go back up. Looking at the big board, you can see Ethereum's up, Bitcoin is up, but look right here, Solana up, Link up, Matic not up, but I think it's just down just a hair because yesterday when I reported it was at 85 cents. Things just move, but these are opportunities to snatch up some sales, at least for me, right? For me, there are opportunities. I have no idea what Celestia does, so I'm not touching it. Lido, I know what they do. I would snatch that up. I would snatch up Injective. I would snatch up Aptos. Near, I would snatch them up. Shiba Inu, definitely snatch them up, even though they added back a zero. But that's exactly why I would do it, right? That's exactly why this morning I got up and bought some more Solana. Why? Because it's under $100. And I'm expecting to make a couple of bucks when it pops up again, because I believe that's what it's going to do. So these are the things that I pay attention to. I just want to dig in on SHIB real quick. Yeah, they're not giving me that whole number. That's what I really want to see. Let's go back over here. Maybe I'll get it over here. Let's see. Here's Shiba Inu. Yep, there you go. So they added back a zero, so it means that I can buy a whole bunch right here, and it'll shave a zero again. It'll definitely shave a zero again. You want to know why? It'll shave a zero because everything's going to go back up, right? Had a little flash crash, not a problem. But the idea for me is that their burn rate is ridiculous. And I don't think everybody's contemplated that. I don't think everybody's considering their burn rate when they look at these numbers. It's also a highly traded coin. I'm just saying, any coin that's in the top 25 is a coin you should be paying attention to. That should be like obvious, right? I mean, you could say, you know what? I'm going to go down and I'm going to pay attention to everything that's above $1 billion. You could say that. But don't miss out. Actually, here are your top 100 from here up. Yeah, I'd be paying attention. Am I playing around with Pepe? No, I'm not. Don't ask me that. It's not on my list of things to play with. It's just not. But I'd be paying attention to everything that's above $1 billion, right? That's honestly what I would be doing. But I did have some questions over on YouTube. Somebody asked me right here, do I know about ICP? What do I think about it? ICP is not a coin that's on my list of things to buy, right? It's just never has been, but it is a good project. I will definitely say that. Let me just pull it up real quick over here. It's from my notes. I don't need to show you guys this. I'm just literally just looking up ICP. Do-do-do-do. There you go. Internet computer, and it's in ranked number 16. Right? Again, I stress it's not something that I'm buying, but I would pay attention to anything in the top 25. If I wanted to be, played ultimately safe, I'd be looking at the top 25 coins. Can't shake a stick at these guys, right? Market cap of over almost $6.5 billion. Yeah, pretty safe. I mean, what do you have to say that's bad about them? I mean, I would do research on what they do, what their use cases are, all that good stuff. Because you have a coin like Doge, who to me doesn't really have a different use case than everybody else. So, am I paying attention to that? No, not really. But I would pay attention to ICP. I actually like ICP. And then, what was the other question? Somebody was asking me. I like how they worded this. Mr. J, please bear with my question. How do I cash out of Bitcoin, and where can I purchase Bitcoin? I don't know where you live, right? I would find an exchange that fits my geography, has a low risk, and I would, cash out there. Because normally you when you're dealing with a centralized exchange, you have to have a bank account that's attached to that, right? So you put in your funds and you cash out right there. And they'll, each one of them has a different way of how they cash out, how much do you want to cash out, all that stuff, the different fees and processing, all that happens. But that's normally how I would do it. If you're holding it on a ledger, then obviously, you've got to go through, I don't know if you have any off-ramp capabilities that you have attached right there, right? Or do you have to transfer from Ledger or Tezos, over, or Trezor rather, or over to a centralized exchange and then cash out from there, or to a decentralized exchange and cash out over there. Again, pay attention to the fees that you would get hit with. And then in those same places, that's actually where you could buy Bitcoin or other coins if you're interested. I always pay attention to the amount of risk associated with the particular exchange I'm working with, right? So my primary DEX is going to be, Uniswap. I use ChainJelly if I'm literally just swapping coins. I'll use ChainJelly sometimes. It really depends on what my math was for the fees that I get hit, how much money I can make for each one of the transactions that I'm doing. Yes, you can make money flipping coins. Just like in Forex, you can make money like that. So depending on the transactions, or, there have been times I wasn't looking to make money, but I was looking to break even on the fees, right? So I can do the math on how many transactions do I have to make, how much my transactions cost, and then how much money am I going to make because I moved my asset from this platform to that platform, and on this platform, the asset is worth more. So these are things that I pay attention to. And those are a little bit complex. Those are complex trades, and you have to run the math, to back those up. I hope that answers your question. But hit me up on growmybag.tv, and I'll be more than happy to answer more questions. But yeah, thank you for that. Anyway, I hope you have a good one. If you like what I'm doing, drop me a note. Love hearing from you guys. And if you don't like what I'm doing and you'd like to see me change a couple of things, drop me a note. I'd love to hear about that too. And if you have some more ideas, I keep talking about how my friend turned me on this. I have a couple of friends turn me on to a star, scale. My son turned me on to SHIB. These are conversations that we need to have in a safe place. So if you're looking for a safe place to start to have these conversations where you feel like you're not talking to a ghost, but talking to a real person, join us over at growmybag.tv. We've got something that's going on over there where we're charging everybody $1 a month, $12 a year. And that's not because we want to make tons of money. It's because we want to keep the bots out, and we want to keep the scammers out as much as possible. Also, we're giving you a whole bunch of content over there. I mean, this morning I dropped, I think, maybe 15 articles this morning. Everything that I talk about here is an actual article. Anyway, I hope you have a good one. ZDJ on Crypto for Grow My Bag TV. Whew, long day. Bye bye.